Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our latest OneShip webinar from BlueBridge One. My name's Neil Rose, and I'm a product consultant here at BlueBridge, and I work on our range of suite apps that we offer, of which OneShip is one. So what we're going to be doing today, I'll be taking you through sort of OneShip in terms of showing you what it does, and what problems it can solve for you in your business. The session will last around 30 minutes. And if you have any questions, then please post the questions in the webinar. And you'll see on your webinar screen a button in the top left-hand corner of the screen, a Q&A button. So again, if you have a question, please pop it in there, and I'll have some time at the end of the webinar to answer those questions. If there's anything we can't answer or we run out of time, then I'll pick those up separately and contact you with the answers afterwards. So just a little bit first about BlueBridge One. We're a very long established NetSuite partner in the EMEA region. We've been going for 19 years now. We've worked with a large number of companies over that time and done many successful NetSuite integrations. We've also got a range of accreditations and awards from NetSuite, including the 5-star partner award, which we've achieved for the last 7 years consecutively, and we're the only partner in the EMEA region to have achieved that. Just in terms of some expertise we have, which is particularly relevant to OneShip, we're a member of the NetSuite Suite Cloud Developer Network, which is and through that network we've developed OneShip, and OneShip also holds the Built for NetSuite accreditation, and actually we've just had that accreditation renewed for version 2022.1 of OneShip, and we renew that accreditation for every new release of NetSuite, so twice a year. So just getting on now to what OneShip can do for you, and really the problems that it can solve. I've got a scenario here with a couple of screenshots, and we've got an item fulfillment form from NetSuite here on the left, and a shipper's system, so in this case DPD, their sort of form for making a booking on the right. And so without an integration like OneShip, then you're going to have to manually enter all the data needed to make that booking with the shipper and to print a label. So clearly there's a lot of either manual data entry required on this form, or a great deal of copying and pasting of data, say from NetSuite into the DPD system, and that's just to print a label. So, and this screen here would just be a screen for a domestic shipment, where you only need to declare the weight of the consignment and the number of packages. If you're exporting, then there's a great deal more data is required. So you need to go down to item level. So again, in this example, there are 3 items. So you need to provide the names of those items, and things like the weights, the individual weights, the commodity or HS codes, and the country of manufacture. So a great deal of data entry is required, obviously taking a lot of time and introducing the potential for error. And OneShip can help solve that problem. So it does that by connecting your NetSuite account directly to your shipper's system. So it bypasses that need for that manual data entry, and it also facilitates the printing of the shipping labels, and also any forms that you might want to print at the same time as the label. So things perhaps like a delivery note that you include with the goods. The tracking data is saved into the appropriate records in NetSuite, so that's very easy to access. And I mentioned on the previous screen sort of the customs requirements for exports, and for most of the carriers we work with, OneShip can handle that for you automatically. So you wouldn't need to print things like commercial invoices. It's all done sort of electronically in the background. We work with a very wide range of carriers in the UK and in Europe, and essentially using OneShip can save you time, money, and as I say, eliminate that risk of errors through double data entry. In terms of our customers, since we introduced the product 5 years ago, we've had a steadily growing customer base, and we've now got over 100 licenses out there, and it's used by quite a diverse range of businesses, um, both B2C and B2B businesses, and overall, OneShip's handling tens of thousands of shipments a day. In fact, some of our customers themselves are doing sort of many hundreds and sometimes thousands of shipments a day just in one installation. So it's a very sort of well established and stable app. We have some case studies that we can share with you. So there's three businesses there who we work with. So if you'd like to receive any of those, so you can find out how they've got a load of benefit from OneShip, then please drop a note in the QA panel, and then we'll arrange for those to be emailed over to you. So we, as I say, we work with a wide range of shippers, and we have two types of integrations. There's two methods we use to connect your NetSuite account to your shippers. We have a series of direct integrations, which is the list we have here. So again, some very familiar carrier names there, and we're actually working on. We're currently working on integration with Hermes, and that should be coming through in the next few weeks. So shortly this will be the list of direct integrations of the carriers we integrate with. We also have another type of integration with, and we work with two other organizations who are Ship Theory and GFS. And GFS stands for Global Freight Solutions, and they're services in their own right. And they provide access to this range of shippers here, so quite a substantial list of other carriers who are available via OneShip. And one of the most popular ones we've found actually from this list is Royal Mail, who both GFS and Ship Theory work with. So in this situation, you'd need to have an account with Ship Theory or GFS, but actually in terms of how that would work in your NetSuite account, it would be exactly the same as the list of carriers on the previous slide for our direct integrations. So once it's installed, there's really no difference. So just a little bit more about the benefits. So obviously on that earlier slide where I was showing you the DPD screen and the NetSuite item fulfillment, you have to somehow get that data from NetSuite into DPD's system. And we think if you're doing that manually, whether it's literally entering the data or copying and pasting it, it's going to take you on average, we think, about 3 minutes per shipment. And typically with OneShip, it's about 4 seconds for that process to run in your NetSuite account. So to make that booking and to print a label. So obviously some very significant time savings to be had there, which could free up staff to work on other activities, or could be sort of real cost savings, or increase your ability to ship more items per day. As I mentioned several times, that risk of error is eliminated because you're not double entering data. You can print documents. As I said, it does support paperless exporting, so this process where you don't need to print things like commercial invoices, but those documents can also be printed if required. But as I say, generally our customers tend to go down the paperless route. We also have some rules you can use in OneShip to automate the selection of a particular carrier and service. So if you're using multiple carriers with a range of different shipping services, say sort of 24-hour services and 48-hour services, then you can set these rules up to automatically select that on the item fulfillment, and I'll show you how that works in a moment. Tracking saved, as I've mentioned before, so that's easy to access from your NetSuite account, and there's two modes you can use OneShip in, and I'll demonstrate these for you in a minute. You can use it to process shipments one at a time, or you can process a bulk of shipments in one go and print multiple labels through one process. And again, I'll just demonstrate those for you in a moment. So I'll just drop out of this presentation, and I'll go to a NetSuite account. So this is a NetSuite test account that we use, and the response on this can be a little bit slow, so please bear with me on that. But these wouldn't be the kind of response times you'd expect to see in a production account. So I've got here a pretty standard sales order I've created just before we started, and there's a couple of items on here, and it's going. If we look at the shipping tab, it's going to an address in France. So this is an export. So I'm just now going to fulfill this sales order. So this is the process if you're dealing with shipments one at a time, one transaction at a time. So we'll call up the fulfillment screen. So again, we've got a fairly standard NetSuite fulfillment screen here. Clearly, other than that button there, and that button's been added in by the OneShip bundle. So when you buy OneShip, we give you access to the bundle, and you then install that into your account. So it becomes essentially just an integrated part of your NetSuite account. The rest of this, again, is pretty standard functionality. And if I go now to the shipping tab, we'll see a little bit more detail. So we've got the address there, and now we've got some other fields down here, which have been added in by the OneShip bundle. So we've got the actual shipping service that we're going to use for this transaction, which is a DPD service, and we've got the total weight and the package count of the consignment. So these are, again, that weight and package count. They can be edited at this stage. So if that's not correct, you can manually edit that and also change the package count. The weights are by default are derived from the weights on the item records of the items on this shipment. So if your item data is good, then you should never actually need to edit that. It should just be correct. But the ability is there anyway. I'll just now show you what some of the rules can do. I mentioned earlier about service selection. So I've set up a rule in this OneShip account to select a different service depending on the delivery address. So this is going to address to France, but this customer who we're sending it to has got multiple addresses on their account. So if I select a different one, so let's say the UK, and then we'll see the address change, and actually the shipping service has changed as well. So that's the rules. The OneShip rules have done that. So let's change that actually to an APC next day service, and that's based on the delivery address. So you can use the rules to do things like that. There's actually a wide range of things you can do in those rules. So you can look at delivery address, and that could go down to country level, to state or county level, or even to postcode level. And actually APC is a particularly useful tool with APC because their next day service doesn't actually cover the whole of the mainland UK. So there are a range of postcodes in the north of Scotland which are available for their 2-day service only. And again, you can use those rules to automatically select that based on the postcode on the delivery address. You can also use the rules to select a different service for certain customers. So if you have customers who use a particular shipper, you can drive that through those rules without having to manually change it here on the item fulfillment. If weight, consignment weight is a deciding factor, again, maybe you have a shipper who you use for particularly heavy consignments, again, that can be set as a rule. And also, in fact, individual inventory items can be used as well. So we have some customers who have some items which are fragile, and they'll use a different shipper for those particular items, and they've set their rules up to automatically select the correct shipper. So a wide range of rules can automate the selection of the service, so without you having to manually intervene. But I'll just change this back to France. There we go. And that will now change back to the Europe service. In this mode, there's actually a number of other options available. There's an air service as well, but I want to use the road service for this particular shipment. And what I'll do now is I'll just click the Save and OneShip button. So that's now going to book this shipment on with DPD. It's going to print the label and also a packing slip at the same time, and then save the tracking details onto this transaction. So the label will actually appear on the screen. So there's the label, and there's the packing slip. So I've got these to appear on the screen so you can see them. In normal operation, this packing slip would automatically print out on your form printer with no intervention required. It will just print out. and the label will come out automatically on your label printer. So again, without any manual additional intervention. So you don't have to do sort of Control P and OK. That label will just print straight out. And I'll just go back now to the fulfillment. And if we go to the shipping tab, we'll see that we've now got the tracking link. So that's a link to, in this case, to DPD's tracking site. And that link is also saved on the sales order that from which this fulfillment was created. So you can for example, your customer service teams can access that if they're getting inquiries from customers about the status of their delivery. And you could also, if you have any email templates you use to email customers when items are shipped, you can also obviously include that data in your email templates if you want to. And also with OneShip, you can also trigger automatic email and text updates from most of our shippers. So you could get, again, in this situation, DPD to send texts and emails directly to the recipient about the status of their delivery. Again, those are the things you can turn on or off in OneShip. So that's processing a transaction if you're processing one at a time in your dispatch area. And I'll just now show you the bulk process I mentioned. So already in NetSuite, sort of native NetSuite functionality, you have the ability to create item fulfillments in bulk. Again, I'm logged in as administrator of this account, so there's a NetSuite menu. We go transactions, order management, fulfill sales orders. So that's standard NetSuite functionality, and we've created a very similar page to book shipments with the shipper in bulk, which has the same look and feel. So if you're using that fulfill sales order tool, this will look familiar to you. So we go transactions, OneShip, process OneShip shipments. And we'll get a screen, again, very similar layout to the bulk fulfillment screen of a set of filters in the top half up here. And then a list of transactions that can be processed based on the filters that have been set at the top. So I've only really set a date filter here, actually. So it's a pretty long list, as you can see, and you can process all of these transactions in one go. So you'd go mark all, and so you'd normally easily be able to process this bulk in one go with no problems in a normal production account. So I'll just explain that. So we have these filters up here. These are the filters that you would get sort of out of the box, in a sense. Once you've installed the OneShip bundle, you can actually create your own filters and add them to this page. So if there's particular, for example, custom fields you have which are important in determining which shippers you use, they can be added as filters at this level. And the list of transactions we get, again, that's derived from a saved search that we provide with the bundle. So again, you can modify this view here, and you could remove columns, reorganize them, or add new ones in. So as you can see, we've got the fulfillment number there, the sales order number, the customer, and then we've got the shipping service as well. So again, that you can edit this again at this stage. You can change that shipping service, and also again the package count and the weight are also editable on this screen. And what I'll just process a couple, just so you can see it in action. Just a couple down the bottom I created again just before the call, and these are just going to the UK. So I'll just check these two boxes, and I'll just process. I'll process these. So these two are UK shipments with TNT. So there's no customs requirements here. With the earlier shipment I did, that shipment to France with DPD, that you'll notice I didn't print any things like commercial invoices because they weren't required, because the integration takes care of all that requirement for you in the background and sends all the data, in that case, to DPD to clear that shipment through customs. So I'll just click process, and now that's going to perform really the same process we saw a minute or two ago with DPD. So this is booking these two shipments on with TNT, and then we're going to get a couple of labels. So there's the first TNT label, and then in a moment the second one will appear, and there's the second one. So again, those two labels again would just come straight out your label printer. And then once that's done, it takes you back to the screen, so you can now process some more transactions. So that's the bulk process. So that's the other way of using SmartShip. Sorry, OneShip. Apologies, we've actually just recently changed the name from a SmartShip to OneShip. So they are in fact the same product. So apologies for that. I'll just now go back to the presentation just to finish off, and then we'll get to some questions. In terms of the cost, the annual license is $899 per shipper per year. We have a slightly different licensing structure with GFS and Ship Theory, who I mentioned earlier on, and for both of those, for GFS and Ship Theory, the first carrier license you have with them would still be $899, but if you had subsequent carrier licenses, they would be $699. So if you were using Ship Theory for Royal Mail and Yodel, for example, the Royal Mail license would be $899, and the Yodel license would be $699. We offer a managed setup service, so we would manage and run the implementation and the testing and the go live of OneShip in your account, and that's a one-off charge of £500 per shipper, and it usually takes we estimate about sort of 2 weeks typically to set up, test, and go live with OneShip. So just a little bit more about that return on investment. So we have a spreadsheet that we can share with you if you wanted just to sort of see what OneShip could do for you. So again, if you'd like us to share the spreadsheets with you, please drop a note in the QA panel. So I've just created a scenario here with a customer who's using a business who's using two shippers, DPD and DHL, and they're doing with DPD around 50 shipments a day, and with DHL around 20, and the staff costs of people having to do that manual data entry into the shippers systems is £11 an hour. With those volumes, is coming out at around, a saving of almost £8,000 per year, even when taking into account the cost of the OneShip license. So again, some reasonably good savings to be had. So just to wrap up, so I've shown you how you can link NetSuite to your shipping carriers by using OneShip. Demonstrated the label and form printing with the click of a button, both in the sort of the processing transactions one at a time and also processing them in bulk. Tracking data was saved into NetSuite. I've just given you an overview of the carrier and service selection rules that you can do to essentially to automate the process and really drive out sort of manual intervention, and also that customs clearance can be taken care of for you sort of electronically without having to print off copies of documents like commercial invoices. So if you want to find out more and you'd like us to sort of talk to you about how OneShip can help your business, then please do contact us either on our website at bluebridgeone.com/contact us, or by all means drop us an email to oneship@bluebridgeone.com. So I'll just now go, we've got 5 minutes, so I'll just now go to the questions. So someone's asked for a copy of the webinar. Certainly, yes, we'll send all that over to you. No problem. So again, if anyone else who wants copies of the slides and the details of the costs, then please either drop a question in there now, or if you contact us on that email address, then we'll organise that for you. I've got another one about someone's got they've got multiple packing stations, so they have multiple people printing shipping labels of their shippers, and they're asking if they'd need a separate license for each one. No, you wouldn't. You'd only need one OneShip license. So if you, let's say you had you're using DHL, for example, and you got 6 or 7 workstations of people in your dispatch area, you'd still only need one OneShip license, and you can use that multiple times in your business. So that would be fine. And there's another one. There's one more about additional carriers. Carriers weren't on the list on the slides I showed you. So yes, we're always actually looking to expand our list of carriers we integrate with. So if you didn't see the carrier you work with on that list, then please do contact us, and we'd be very keen to investigate that to see if we can add an integration with your carrier into OneShip. That's something we're extremely keen to do. And as I said earlier, we're currently working on a direct integration with Hermes. That's one of our actually our existing customers has asked for, who are changing actually their carrier to Hermes, and so we're delivering that for them in the next few weeks. So yeah, we're definitely interested in adding carriers to our portfolio. Okay, so that's all the questions I've got. So if there's any, we've got a couple more minutes. So if there's anything else, I'll hang on here on the webinar. So if there is anything, please either post it in the next minute or two, or I'll come back to you. So there's another one just come in. So can we add North American carriers? Not at the moment. No, at the moment the product is, if I just go back a few slides, it's based on the carriers we currently integrate with. So it's that list, and these are all that list is all carriers that ship from the UK worldwide. So they're all the UK versions of those carriers where they have international international variants like FedEx and DHL, for example. And then we have this list here, which includes some specific European carriers, but at the moment we don't cover North America. And there's one more question coming. Can we get a copy of the commercial invoice? We're actually we're just about to release a new version of OneShip, probably either tomorrow or early next week, which will include a commercial invoice template. There are built into NetSuite, there is a commercial invoice template, a FedEx one, which you can see in the within NetSuite, but it's not editable. And actually, some of our customers have asked for that, so we're just about to deliver that, and that will be a PDF template that you can use, and you can customize it to suit your own business, and then use that to print off at the same time as the shipping label is produced. You can also actually use it to upload it to some of our carriers. So although in the example I showed with DPD, that customs clearance was all done by data. So it was all based on the data that we send to DPD. So like the delivery address, and the detail of the items on the shipment and weights, costs, etc. But you can also, for some of our shippers, upload a form into their system, so you don't need to print it off, but there's still a sort of a form sitting behind it, and you'll be able to use that commercial invoice template we're about to release for that purpose. So I'm hoping that that answers that one. Okay, so I'll just draw everything to a close now. So thank you again very much for coming to the webinar today. I hope you found that useful. And we run these regularly. There'll be another one in about sort of 6 weeks' time. So if you keep an eye open for that, and we tend to sort of in these webinars look at specific elements of OneShip in detail. Today we've sort of looked at it generally. So if there is anything that you'd like to know a bit more about, then please again do drop us a mail, and then we'll happily sort of cover that in a future webinar. But as I say, thank you very much for coming.